The first part is my challenge with the performance outlook of the systematic outlook of performance. And it happens more often in the departments. In one other training, one guy made an example of 3 people who are employed to plant trees. 1 to dig, 1 to put a tree, 1 to cover it up. So the one who puts a tree when it's off, the other one digs and the other one covers up. And they say that's their job description. So they've done 100% of their job. Because my job is to dig, I did dig 10, which I'm supposed to do a day. Another one say my job is to put back the sand, and I did put back the sand on 10 in a day. But the one who's supposed to put a tree was not there. So the outcome is not delivered. But everyone did their job, and on a performance scale, they did 100%, or they couldn't even do more than 10 in that day. And then we're supposed to clap hands for them, but the outcome is not there. This is what I want to arrive at. The purpose, despite the segregation of levels of government, the purpose of all these things combined is that there must be water in a tap in a household. So if it does not yield that outcome, the department at its own level or delegations of power can build reservoirs, do whatever it needs to do. But if the municipality and the pipes are not working and there's no water there, it is a problem because the outcome is not delivered. So at a strategic level or at a background level, the department then should have interventions with the municipalities, a coordinated effort to ensure that ultimately, whilst we do our part, but we ensure that the deliverable is achieved. And as a result, from a person, because this process is also not just about us engaging with departments, but about the people at home also who are interested in these things. So when the water department is meeting with the committee, one of the questions that I would have, or that the people I think would want to hear, is when do we expect an endless flow of water, an uninterrupted flow of water into the taps? It may not be a responsibility of the department, but the department in its coordinated approach as government, as one government, must be able to provide that response, and that response must be the same that will be provided by local government in a different platform, because these are all departments under one government, and the responsibilities cannot be, what they call collective responsibility in some other terms. So that is the first question, because I mean, people are not interested in ideas or anything in anyone's head. They just want to see water in the pipes, in their taps. And I'm from KZN, I'm from Port Shepstone and also in Durban. For 4 to 6 years, just yesterday I was at home. There was water in the tap in Umzumbe, but it will come back after 6 months. It was clean. There's no maintenance issues. There are no issues, but they just open it once or twice a year. And when we make follow-ups with the municipality, there's no clarity of what is the reason. Because we must speak about the how are we able to maximize readily existing infrastructure and water capacity. Then we can speak about expansion and the need to, ensure that there's more coverage. But on the existing platforms, we don't seem to be having maximum capacity. So that is the first question without deliberating more of if we have an answer. If we don't have an answer, we can say, no, we don't know. We can't say this is when we envisage that we are going to have uninterrupted water, at least where there's infrastructure already. And there are no maintenance issues. The second issue relates to the water tanker mafias. SIU was here, and they said to me, when I asked them about this issue, they said they operate on the basis of allegations. There must be allegations presented before they can motivate for a proclamation and so forth. I just want to ask a specific question, then I'll go to the structured questions, Chair. I want to ask a specific question that is it also the view of the department that whilst everyone knows that there is an operation of water tanker mafias, people who close taps so that they can operate their waters, people who vandalize infrastructure so that they can have their water tankers and maximize profits at the expense of the people on the ground. Because the community fears putting formal complaints, because they will know that the information will leak from government and they'll be short. So there must be never an investigation. So there will never be a commission set to investigate and look deeper into the issues of water tanker mafias, because SIU says there must be a formal complaint. Even if we know the problem exists right in our faces, we're not going to deploy all available avenues of government to deal with it decisively. I want to understand if that is the view of the department on that matter. Maybe let me pause here and take answers, and then I'll proceed.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair. Thank you very much, Honourable Madlala. On the water, on the value chain of water, it sounds as if one is shifting responsibility when we say we can play our role up to where this your second person was taking the soil back to dig that hole. That person could not plant the tree because his mandate was not to plant the tree. That is where we are. The Department of Water and Sanitation has a role up to the water treatment plant. From the reservoir to the tap, that's a responsibility of another sphere. And it is enshrined there in the Constitution. You'll remember, Honourable Madlala, I even said in the question session, if there was a need to amend the Constitution, bring water back to Department of Water, we could talk something differently. But now we cannot go to encroach on the mandate of local government, which is supposed to provide water. What you are saying is true, that there is interruptions in terms of water flow. There is a lack of reliability. Hence, in Mzumbe, 2 days ago, you will get water, but without any explanation why there was no water for the past 2 years or so. Why is there no water today when there was water yesterday? That is operational, and it is operational within the municipality. We don't open taps. Unfortunately, that's not that is not what we are supposed to do. Water tankers. Yes, we share the same view with the SIU. SIU report and AG report were working together. When it comes to water tankers, one, as the DWS, we don't own any water tanker. We don't have water tankers as a DWS. The only few that we had, I think about 10, were bought during the COVID-19. They are assigned to Amadola so that they can make some interventions when they are doing maintenance. Otherwise, we don't have water tankers. We have advised municipalities to insource the water tankers. Already, eThekwini has started to insource water tankers. There are those reports, but no one wants to be a witness in terms of assisting with full information. They see these things happening where they are, but people live in fear. They don't report such. And if there is no detail in terms of reporting that on such and such a date I saw this car, their registration number, SIU and any other law enforcement agency cannot do anything. It's a pity that maybe our witness protection system is not working well to ensure that people can go in camera and give witness in terms of what they've seen. If we could be able to deal with that. Otherwise, these cases, they are happening at that level of municipalities. It is municipalities that are outsourcing water provision to water tankers. Unfortunately, there is nothing much that we can do. We are as concerned as the citizens of this country. But the president said, working with SAPS, we must ensure that we encourage our people to report such, because we have to clamp down on water tankers. What they are doing is terrible. To understand that they deliberately vandalize the water infrastructure so that at the time when that water cannot flow to the depth, they must get tenders. It is an unfortunate situation, but if municipalities can be in the position to insource those water tankers, then we might resolve this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, thank you to the Minister. I think the answer could have also been more concise. The first part is that the department cannot put a date of when we'll have uninterrupted water services. And then the explanation that follows, we hear it. And the second part, the department is as vulnerable as the citizens in terms of handling the issue of water tankers. It has no solution to it because there are no reports. And there are not going to be any reports. So it means that we must maybe as a committee put it to the president or to put it to somebody else. Because there's not going to be any reported incident because our people are shot every day when they try to speak about the issue. And government is saying we can't do anything as well. You see, that's something we need to take forward maybe in another comment. But let me go to these other questions. Despite the departments transferring 3.61 billion to municipalities through Schedule 5B component of the water service infrastructure grant, only 54 out of 101 planned small water and sanitation projects were completed in the last financial year. This underperformance is largely due to delays in the appointment of contractors by the municipalities and inefficiencies in their supply chain management processes. The question is, what support mechanisms or oversight measures has the department implemented to ensure that municipalities improve procurement processes and deliver on the projects in time and within budget? So maybe just in a one line or two, this is what we do. We've got monthly meetings or whatever, and this is we get reports and so forth. Just a short answer, or we just put the grant and we don't follow up. We leave it to the municipalities. The second question is, of the completed projects, how many involved VIP sanitation and water tank installations? Additionally, does the department consider these interim solutions to be beneficial or sustainable to the affected communities? I think you did speak about where these interventions were deployed. Are they considered to be sustainable and beneficial to the communities? Let me stop there. Thank you.
Chairperson, I want to respond to Honorable Madlala, but to put a point of before. It will be incorrect that a member of parliament is allowed to give context. And then when it's our time, we're not supposed to respond in context. That will be unfair. Number two, the statement he made around water tankering is incorrect. Minister were on record, and I want it to be recorded. Water tankering must be used as a temporary measure, not as a permanent measure that is there. In as much as it is in a municipal domain, the answer is that municipalities have been directed just to deal with the question of criminality, do insourcing, just to eliminate whether politicians and officials are involved. That's what we have intervened. Number two, the water tankers, Chair, sometimes they don't take the water to people, and they don't take it on the right times. Minister, we have directed that there must be a management plan, including using tracking system. You track where the tanker is and water committees, because water committees must be part of what do we call it, ward committees, because it's an important matter. But there should not be any insinuation or recording that we have not responded. On this matter of so many projects, the support we give to municipalities, including intervention, because we intervene, it's limited on the basis of resources. What you give us as Parliament through appropriation, you give us the Regional Park Infrastructure Grant, you give us the Water Services Improvement Grant. There are also other water grants. You have MIC. 50% of the MIC must go to water and sanitation. And then you have the Human Settlement Development Grant, which is 1/3 must go to water and sanitation. For the metros, you have the USDG. That is in the may not spend. 1/3 of that USDG goes to water and sanitation. When Minister said at the beginning, ring-fence this budget. We mean all those monies that including the sales. We are reporting structural because we must not be able to say we have not intervened. You can check. You go to Mkanyagut, it's an intervention. You go to Mfuleni, we've intervened. You go to eThekwini, we've intervened. These are the interventions, but on record, they have a limitation. In instances where there is no capacity, our response is simple. Instead of actually giving you a direct grant, we do a direct grant. Those municipalities, over time, the money has been referred back to Treasury. We have made a determination working with National Treasury. Instead of doing direct grants, we do indirect grants. Then we deploy our own entities in terms of implementing agent, whether it's a construction unit, whether it is the water boards. In certain instances, we even use other entities like your district municipalities. You can go to home in Mpumalanga, we use Gersiband, Nkangala, and others. Those that have capacity as a matter to deal with issues of non-performance and underperformance so that citizens are not made worse off around this particular issue. The last point on the numbers that you have referred to, I'll ask the DG to come back to that. Thank you.